And here we are, another round of 32 sets. Excited to see Nicov. I love to watch Nicov. When Nicov is playing at his highest level, he is really tough to beat. Nicov, I think the big thing over the years has just been consistency. But it's round of 32, and Nicov is here in the blue. He has started with the Burgundians, which is not a civ that I would have expected to see all that frequently in this tournament, because Burgundians are really good on closed maps, but Nicov has decided to pick them here. Now, my immediate thought is you pick Burgundians so you can make the Flemish militia. Recent balance change, you can make them from your barracks. Here they are. And so maybe Nicov wants to do that and wall up a little bit and play the economic side. I like the matchup for Chart, though. Chart's over here as the Romans. Romans have 5% greater efficiency on everything, and then there's no like big questions on like, do they need to wall or anything? I feel like, you know, Burgundians are probably going to greed a little bit, and they're going to try and go for the heavy eco play, which means walls. And then, luckily for Chart, he's a civ where no matter what he does, he's a little bit more efficient. So I think things are definitely easier for Chart civ here. And Chart's just pushing in some deer. Again, on Chart, he's almost 2,700 elo. You can see their elos at the bottom right. He's a really good player. But the thing is that skill hasn't necessarily translated into great results in mixed map tournaments. Recently in Titans League, he was the #1 seed, and to make it to gold, he didn't make it to gold because he lost to Dudaju, who's lower elo than him. But Dudaju is really good in the mixed map. So I think Chart strength is mainly on Arabia, which is what this tournament is. So this should be one where the elo translates into a really solid level. And he'll bring in the board. Nothing crazy so far. Just kind of warming up here. But yeah, Nikov's already getting double bit. And that's the bonus for his civ. But this should delay his feudal age. So I'd expect Nicov to maybe wall this way. Wall around this way to the wood line. Wall here. I don't actually know if he'll wall to incorporate his gold like around it. I think maybe just some walls this way using the gold. Then you have 2 solid areas for lumber camps. Lots of space for your farms. And you can get those eco upgrades. And then you can make military to fight for map control, and then you can kind of adapt from there. But yeah, I think Nikov's going to start those walls right now. He will not be up as quickly as Chart because of investing in the double bit and all the walling. And I don't think he's even mining gold. I think he's just going to place the walls we're talking about. I think he walls here, and then he walls here. Yeah, it seems like that's the case for Nicov. I don't know if you guys are impressed with the fact that I predicted his walls. It would be super cool if I, as a caster, could place walls ahead of time to guess the exact position. That would be so fun. Oh my god. Capture Age. Make it happen, man. So you know how we're always looking for holes in walls? Well, in the past, so this is previous to the Definitive Edition, there was a feature where you can use... you could actually try and place a wall in the game. It's because we were using the game to spectate and not a separate program. So you could get a wall on your mouse cursor and you could like hover like you would in the game in between houses and in between trees to see if there's a hole. I missed that. That was super fun to have. I don't think that's really possible. Is there a hole here? Or is there a tree? There's a tree there, right? Yeah, there's a tree. I don't think that's possible with Capture Age, but that was a pretty cool feature. Obviously, Capture Age has like a million other features that we didn't have back in the day, so still take Capture Age over that, but it's fun to think about sometimes. Let's see how far we've come. So, Chart, once that early aggression, he'll be going for what seems to be Man-at-Arms. And he moves forward to find Nicov, but Nicov is completely safe, completely walled, and Chart's scout will path right into the TC, and Chart needs to do a little bit better there, man. I mean, this is like many aspects of King of the Desert Arabia, very punishing, right? But one aspect that isn't is the town center location, because they have these little warning signs, these little warning carpets, give you an idea of where the enemy TC should be. So, first game, that scout is 1 hit away from going down now. And Nikov's headed to gold. Nikov's got that back wood line. Nicov already has Bowsaw. Or sorry, not Bowsaw, but he will aim to get Bowsaw, which is why it's on my mind. And I would imagine the play seems to be archers. I mean, Nicov is just expecting men-at-arms because he saw the barracks early, and it's Romans. And he would be correct so far. It's really frustrating when you go men-at-arms, you're like, I want to fight you, I want to play open. You take damage to your scout like this just because you made a mistake, and now your opponent is already fully walled. So do you get man-at-arms or do you not? I mean, I would still get it to try and pressure the house. But Nikov's going to run in here and try and snipe this scout. And Chart sees that and will run away now. Behind this, we have the archer range from Chart. Really curious to see how Chart manages the eco here. Because man-at-arms build is the toughest build to get your eco, right? And there's Nicov with the Flemish Militia. So no archers. He's making Flemish Militia, guys. They cost wood and they cost gold, I think, right? Capture Age won't actually tell me, and I think there was a change at some point. I really wish Capture Age would do that. Capture Age makes me seem so smart. With some of these new changes, I sometimes second guess myself. I know they made the Flemish Militia a little bit faster. Okay, so they are food and gold. Well, food and gold makes more sense because having it be wood and gold would be more like a Fire Lancer, which could be really strong then. But yeah, they made these faster. I think they're still ever so slightly slower than a Man-at-Arm. A Man-at-Arm's 0.96. A Flemish Militia's 0.94. But the stats are decent. They don't look as badass, but 45 HP, 5 base attack. And then the Man-at-Arms are 6 base attack with that 4 HP. So, also, I think the Flemish Militia have 1 melee and 1 pierce armor. And the Man-at-Arms only have that one pierce armor, no melee. So I think in a straight engagement, it's pretty much even. And then the benefit is you don't need to go for the Man-at-Arm upgrade. You can just make the units. So Char will have some archers now too. He really wants to pressure the Burgundians here. He goes right over to the berries and kind of ignores this. Nikov's scout took some damage, and Nicov doesn't necessarily know where he wants to target. The berries wouldn't be a good option because there might be archers there. But the golds could be an option if he can find it. And Nicov does add some archers as well. And Nicov has Bowsaw. So, Bowsaw versus just now double Bidaxe. And Chart, I think, is misreading the situation here. I'm not sure exactly where he was expecting these units to go. But Nicov gets the beautiful snipe there. And Nicov has got to be very happy with that. This villager's also not working. His villager was kind of walled into the mining camp. He was sent home, and now he's just stuck. Nicov still has some work to do to defend here. He doesn't have horse collar for any of his farms, but I'm liking Nikov's position so far. Killed the villager. Let me put it to you this way. I don't think Burgundians are a top-tier civil in this map. Considering that, really good opening for Nicov. This is one of his later picks. But yeah, I speak to players, and I speak to Nicov every so often, and he did mention to me that Burgundians were maybe going to be an option for him. I think I can only reveal that after somebody does something. But this has not been common. And Chart, still only slightly behind with resources collected. Has his villagers protected, walled in. Will force away those Flemish Militia now. Has taken Nicov off these berries a bit. Nicov has fletching, though. And Nicov will want to focus this down now. And Chart's fletching upgrades a little bit late. And, ooh, Chart loses an archer. So, that's good for Nicov, because it's essentially turning into a ranged unit war. Of course, there's still more infantry for Chart. I doubt we'll see the armor. Pretty good play from both. Nicov, though, has his gold protected. Builds another farm back here for more farms. He'll snag horse collar. Nikov's food eco is going to be sick. Is kind of painful that you can't farm around your initial mill. So that doesn't feel like a win from Chart's perspective, but it is. I guess for Chart, he's also not planning on farming around his initial mill. And he has 9 farms. Nikov's got 18 farms. 18 against 9. Wow, that's crazy. Also, wheelbarrows coming in. That, of course, is cheaper. So with wheelbarrow, with this many farms, they're going to get a lot more efficient. Oh, man, this is just classic. Nicov is fully walled, and he's sneaking. And this is one of the toughest things to face against an AoE. You want to do damage to someone, they don't allow you to do damage, and then they sneak their archers. Nicov should run to the far side of the mining camp before attacking here. You wait a little bit. Yeah, okay, that's good. He knows he's been spotted now. Now he can get this villager. And then the other villager is trapped in the mining camp. A reason to maybe never do this, guys. Every time I do this, I think my villager's going to be safe from man-at-arms, and then it dies to archers. 3 villager kills for Nicov. Perfect start. Is pushed off of his gold for a minute. Is also healing up his Flemish militia inside of his TC. He's going to make some skirms here, too. I think Nicov should be in a pretty good position to clear this up. So far, Nicov 5 kills, 0 deaths. He's played a really nice game with the military. He'll fall back. And just as Chart is thinking he can get some damage, Nicov will run in. And Nicov might be able to put a stop to this as well. Must be frustrating for Chart. Nicov microing the weak archer to the side, getting another kill. 6-0 KD now. And now he can move back to the gold, and he can be on his way to Castle Age soon. Just the detail of healing up the Flemish militia inside the TC is so nice. Because they're not really something you can benefit from right now. Chart's on the way to Castle Age. Chart will have to use Castle Age to gain some advantage here. His man-at-arms are getting picked off. 7-0 for Nicov. 8-0. Now, Nicov, don't lose a unit. Or I guess, is it... Okay, 9-0. 10-0 for Nicov. Can I get an 11-0 for Nicov, maybe? If he finds these archers, that could be 4 more. That scout's weak. Scouting around the map. And yet, more Flemish militia might actually make sense because they get boosted stats when they make it to Castle Age. I would say just maybe use these 3 and just make knights or Lycav or something, but it's an option. Nicov, oh, he lost a unit. Oh, that's so... Wow, he's so bad. He's so horrible. It's only 12-1 now. Damn, well, Nikov's going to need to improve to have any chance. 13-1 now. And probably another archer kill. I mean, the nice thing for Chart is this kind of tells him he has to switch out of range units because he's lost so many. And Nicov thinks he's got this unit trapped, and he'll find it. And that's going to be 14-1 for Nicov. Assuming the archer doesn't get found. Yeah, so Nicov got his early eco upgrades. I mean, like I said, though, Romans... Down 3 villagers still kept things competitive with resources collected. So I do think it's a good matchup for Romans still. Oh, nice shot from Chart, but that scout should probably die to that skirm. 1 more hit and it will die. Ooh. Oh, I thought the skirm could get a volley in. I was wrong. And Nicov getting armor. Nicov will lose his scout. He'll find the range units from Chart. Right now, his additional skirms are over here just pestering the wood line. He does still have a little army here, and Nicov will also hit Castle Age. And that should be another free kill. Yeah, Chart just struggling with the tiny little details here. But now he's under some real pressure to get some damage. The Flemish militia are out for Nicov. I don't think they'll contribute much here. And Nicov, before he makes anything out of his stable, is going to snag Elite Skirm. I don't think he was exactly expecting more range units. I mean, there always were some archers, but... After killing that many range units, normally you see the Night Switch. There is a Night Switch as well for Chart. And this is the most vulnerable area for Nikov's base. Other side of that wood line and the gold. He'll protect that now. And Chart will see Elite Skirm, so Chart will need to lean on more Knights. Nicov will just lose the Skirmisher here, and now this is pretty tough for Chart to engage in, too. There are some tiny details that are rather important we have to focus on, like relics. Chart's scout still being alive. He scouted a lot of the map. Nikov's scout also did the same, though. So he could see most of the relics. He's just missing this relic on the right. You almost assume there's going to be one there. Nicov getting handcart now pretty early. Nicov does this a lot. He'll build, like, monasteries and stables sometimes where farms should be. I don't think you really need to hide the monastery, but I don't know. Maybe there's some value to that. It's not that big a deal. I just noticed that with Nicov sometimes. Normally, it's in moments where things are more stressful, but... Chart's going to stay 1 TC here. He's going to play full army. I think he saw the army from Nicov. He saw 2 stables, and he's at the very least expecting a lot of pressure. But this is handcart, bow saw, and heavy plow. Sorry, forgot that for a second. That against no wheelbarrow. And bow saw is in, horse collar's in. I mean, bow saw and horse collar is fine, but not having wheel compared to handcart's pretty crazy. Nicov will go up to 3 TCs as well. I do think that the third TC could possibly be an issue for Nicov. You can't think of it and just say, oh, like, more TCs equals, you know, game over. Because that's a lot of food eco invested into Vills and not so much into army. Chart is going crazy with army now. He's also going to add siege. So this game is decided on the next 90 seconds. Also, good morning, everyone who just got here. Hello, hello. But yeah, Nicov doesn't have food to make knights. His monks might be off getting relics. So he doesn't have them around right now, and already the knights are going to pose some type of a problem here. He does have that one monk, and that'll force Chart back. But once Chart comes in with the mangonel, it gets a little bit more complicated. And Dane says it's evening. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, dude. Not that it's 5 o'clock here, but I guess it's soon 5 o'clock there. I like it from Chart. He needs the second TC eventually, because he's not immediately getting value from the all-in push. So, the second town center timing seems good. Nicov pulling ahead with resources. Is making a couple knights now. Has 2 over here. Has 2 over here, but he can't really do too much with it. He could run underneath this town center, though. Once Chart completes it, you can run right through. Nicov sees the siege. Don't think Nicov knew this siege was coming. This siege workshop's been up for a minute. Nicov has had no scouting on that. He'll drop his own siege workshop. Really important aspect of this game right now is Nicov on stone. Because if he defends from the attack, he can get a castle, but Chart's going to gain a hill in front of his base. If Chart only siege pressures from the hill and maybe goes after the siege workshop, it could be a good move here. Nicov into the TC with the skirms. Yeah, I see that mangonel's on a hill, which means Nicov can't one-shot it. What Nikov's going to try here, guys, is he's going to hop out with the skirms, hit that with his skirms, so he weakens it a little bit, and then his siege can get the damage. That's crazy to try, but he might try it. I think saying he's going to is... that's probably too big of a promise. But I think that would be your only way to take that fight. And Chart is being really smart with staying on the hill. But every bit of HP matters here. Even a 46 HP mangonel Nicov could maybe take. Nicov going 4 stables now. Snagging eco upgrades. He wants a big engagement. But there are monks. There are crossbows for Chart on this hill as well. Nikov's knights make it through. Underneath the town center. Now Chart needs to wall. He actually had a monk in there? There's a random monk in the wood line. He was talking to the lumberjacks. That's really weird, but it works out in defense. Now Nicov is still hoping to defend, but Chart's still sitting to that hill there. I think Chart will clear this. Nicov can actually leave, though. So much micro on the front right now. Nikov's getting the Cavalier upgrade. And he does get the snipe there. So that was on flat ground. That was just on the area of flat ground somehow. Or it was weak. I don't think it was, though. A third TC coming up for Chart. He's behind by 20 Vills, but he has some nice map control. Nikov's going to need a full clear here. He's waiting for this. He's been as patient as one can be amongst this much pressure. Repairing this is good. Expanding your eco to the north is good. He's at the limit, but I think he's got some chances here to handle this. I think if they get the same amount of conversions with their monks, Nicov wins the fight because he has Cavalier with all that extra attack. There's not that many crossbows, and the skirms aren't really that helpful either. If anything, the skirms being there is just helpful because then the Cavalier will attack that instead of the knights for a minute. That is a big group of knights. Yeah, pikemen's absolutely not an option. There's just too much cav. There's too many monks to convert it. Too many range units out there. Too much siege. Nicov, I think, was debating a counterattack here. Like, running in for that TC, which would be kind of crazy. Because then Chart might dive his town center. Here we go. Monks need to be ready on both sides. Nicov deletes his barracks, so definitely no pikemen now. He'll engage. Chart is the hill. Nikov's monks are aiming to get conversions, but Chart has to kill them with the crossbows, and Chart is killing them with the crossbows. That's a pretty good fight for Chart, but I don't know if it's enough. Let's see. The Cavalier HP is about 1,200. The Knight HP is about 1,200. There's skirms and crossbows left. Is this going to be a 50-50 fight? It feels really close to 50-50. Maybe Chart just wins it. Amazing job from Chart. Nicov didn't get the conversions he wanted there. But yeah, that's a 50-50 fight. Nikov's kicking himself that he placed his castle now. Because if he just waited, he probably could have placed the castle on the hill. A 50-50 fight is completely fine for the player who's already up 25 vills. So Nicov will be satisfied with that. Remember, Nicov doesn't have the upgrades that Chart does. So he didn't get final armor or attack, and that was still good enough. He can then add the unique unit, and mixing in Custilier could be really strong, and he'll just drop a castle here anyways, because he's got enough stone for it, and he'll build another TC. Nicov held, that's all that matters. And Chart now, because Cavalier is stronger than the Knights, he is going to go for pikemen. It does make sense to try pikemen, but in that game state, it takes too much time for there to be benefit. There's going to be a massive fight. Now the switch makes sense. Oh, but Chart's going to find some really good raids here. Nicov would have never expected to be found over there. Chart's teching that gold. Nicov has to run. Nikov's town center here is disrupted and delayed. At the same time, we've got some raids here from Nicov, but there will be some Roman pikes around. Plus, there's going to be some monks, so Chart can probably defend that. So, nice job from Chart to do something. I mean, if he sat back, it feels like this would have been Nikov's game. Still could be Nikov's game with 2 castles, but you never know. I think Chart just missed. That whole attack from Chart could have come a little bit faster. If you don't lose those vills, if you have a slightly faster castle age, if the siege workshop is more forward, if there's a monastery forward, you can have a little bit more to the push. Or you could have that push hit a little bit faster, and that can decide it. And just took him a little too much time to get going. And now Nikov's in a fairly comfortable spot. I mean, this castle doesn't protect this gold. Not fully. But it's close enough where if you have some army, it probably does. That seems to be Nikov's main concern right now is gold. There's actually not a lot of safe gold. This gold is Nikov's, and this gold is Nikov's. So, yeah. But he is going to be on the way to the Imperial Age. What do you guys think about Castle Age Burgundian Vineyards? I feel like no one gets it in Castle Age. But considering Nikov's circumstances right now, with 50 on food and very little gold, it might make sense. Oh, big castle from Chart. Chart needs some action right now. He's going to try it. I think he can get this castle up. Nicov might need to sell all his food and buy stone to drop a defensive castle. Oh! Okay, Nicov blocks it with houses. Castle's on the way up, though. Big fight. Nikov's got a lot of his army off screen in the left corner. That castle's going up, I think. Chart's got enough. Nicov did just buy stone. He is going to... What? Nicov, you waited way too long for this, bro. Okay. Nicov is going to build a castle here with 45 vills after Chart's castle is going to complete. Half the villagers are on strike. They want better wages for these working conditions. I mean, castle goes up for Nicov. It goes up. It's carnage everywhere. He's got villagers that need to hop inside of his castle. He's really struggling right now. Chart's pressure has worked somewhat. And this is like right when Chart needed the pressure. Nicov still has gold issues. Nikov's still getting raided up here. But Nicov will be in the Imperial Age, and then he can make trebuchets. And with trebuchets, he can treb this down. Obviously, the idle time's insane for Nicov. But this defensive castle, as crazy as it looked, probably was necessary to prevent Chart from running in any further. Another TC for Nicov in the north to protect that gold. He actually found the gold down here. So that he has been on gold. And Chart will see Imp And he will not be happy to see that. And Nikov's town center will complete just in time. Also, it still has this army over here. And he will add the Trebs now. Chart needs full knight spam. Full knights, full pikes with the rams. He needs it all. He needs enough to be able to take the Trebs down. I think that's going to be tough. But he did find this gold too. So Chart's done an amazing job finding those additional golds. Like realizing that Nicov has taken the neutral golds. Because that's been his main thing. This castle and this tower here is just denying gold. He's like, where is this guy getting gold? But the Cavalier are into Chart's base. And the Coustilier will be as well. And Chart hasn't exactly been able to defend much. No defensive castles. Look at Nicov. His units in every single area. Chart will come in with rams, which is a good play. Obviously, the goal is to take down the castle, but can he take down every one? I feel like taking down every one is going to be such a tough task here. Yeah, and he doesn't realize he's getting raided here. Nikov's got a 40 villager lead. A great counterattack from Nicov. You can lose this castle. You can lose this TC. You can maybe even lose the vills, and you're still okay here. You still have the other castles as the backup. Would actually like to see Flemish Militia now from Nicov. Against the pikes and against the knights, I think that'd be better than your own pikes. But he wants hand cannons, which he will have. And hand cannons might seal the game. This has to work for Chart. It's a really nice play. I feel like the theme of the game is Chart did a really solid job after he fell behind, right? And if he hadn't fallen behind to the same level, he might have been able to turn it around. Or not turn it around, but, you know, win the game. But Nicov got ahead early. Nicov got a big lead, and Nicov just held on. That one fight that was 50-50 was maybe the game-winning move for Nicov, because 50-50 when you have the 30 villager lead is enough. Nicov will be happy with that, because Burgundians are kind of an awkward civ to play here. That's a bit of a confidence pick from Nicov. To win with Burgundians game number 1 and still have some of your top picks remaining is huge. It's not like Romans was the number 1 pick for Chart, but still. I definitely think from Chart's perspective, you're going to be like, come on, did I really lose to the Burgundians on Arabia? Like for example, I think it's one of my toughest civs to play on Arabia. So Nicov made it look easy. But he also used the bonuses. We had some Flemish Militia. We had the early walls with the early eco upgrades. We got to the unique unit too. It wasn't just playing it like a generic civ. A good KD for Nicov there, and the eco had just exploded. GG. Solid game. Why did Automod just disallow Huns in chat? What? So Automod will stop certain comments? Apparently saying Huns is not allowed. That's weird. Maybe some certain streamers don't like to be called Hun or something. We don't have Huns here. Sorry, got distracted. Game number 2. We've got Gurjaras for Nicov. And Nicov is going to send these sheep to the mill. What in the world is this wall of wood in the middle? This, guys, this is crazy. One house here, like 6 or 7 stone walls here, a gate, house, stone wall. We got arena. It's the wall then. Look at this. This is crazy. I don't think anyone's going to do it because that's like really far away and it's kind of hard to fight for. But even still, the pathing on this game is going to be really interesting. Let's just say, okay, let's just say you're Nicov. You get a crossbow army here, all right? And then Chart has a unit here, which is really not that far away. You got to go like all the way back around or all the way this way. It can really affect your pathing. So I think the woodline will have some type of an effect. There will definitely be archers from Chart this game. He's Vikings. Nicov. Likely to open with scouts, I would say. It's been interesting to see how many people are opening with Gurjaras. I think they are doing so as a counter to a lot of the Cav civs that are out there. So like a counter to Huns, for example, or maybe to Hindustanis, or maybe the Wei, or maybe the Persians. Tech tree-wise, I think playing standard archers with your stable units can be really good here. Vikings are picked because free wheelbarrow is crazy OP, and men-at-arms can be pretty strong. But yeah, they don't see the Great Wall of Wood yet. I noticed with some Krazzini maps, some like old Krazzini scripts, that sometimes we see these random really long wood lines. Like, remember some of the Land Madness generations we've had with these really long wood lines that show up on the edge of the map, guys? I think Krazzini does this script. Maybe it changed. Maybe he doesn't do it anymore, but Krazzini's done a lot of map scripts. It's not common, but occasionally you just get that really long, rigid wood line. It's definitely not something they would have wanted, but it's not a bug either. They're not going to restart the game because of this. T90, has anyone not picked Chinese for the first pick? I don't really know. I mean, we've had a lot of first picks that weren't Chinese, but then Chinese might have been banned. Interestingly enough, though, we did have Chinese first pick from 2 players yesterday, and the Chinese lost both games. So that was kind of an interesting situation. You don't see that all the time. There's the barracks for Chart. Now, talking about the main map. Main map is really good for him. No problem. And he's just scouting Nicov. Wouldn't surprise me if Nicov tries to open archers here. But it is awkward to do that with the Gujaras because you have to open with the mill. So you have to shift a ton of vills to straggler trees and over to wood here. Also, is MBL still listening? I saw he was in chat a moment ago, but he might have stepped away. I'll wait to see if he responds before I say what I'm about to say. Yeah, so they're not going to realize how massive this woodline is yet. They're just going to find out the hard way when their units path awkwardly later. So they don't really know. Like, Chart's units are going on this side of it. Nikov's units going on this side of it. Now Nikov's just trying to click back this way, and it's pathing this way. He's probably really confused. Yeah, so we have Nicov versus Chart. After this will be Hera versus Lewis. And then third series of the day is Winchester versus Prisma. So every series has a pretty big underdog. Chart's the underdog here. Lewis the underdog against Hera. And then you got Prisma the underdog versus Vinch. I would expect the favorites to win today, but I mean, all the underdogs, the supposed underdogs, are really solid players. They're here for a reason. And we almost had I mean, we've had a couple upsets so far this tournament, but we'll see. Nicov walls in his wood line. The Chart's just going to attack the house here, which isn't a troll. I think he realizes that Nikov's probably just going to be walled up, so he wants to get some value. If this was Viper, that camel would be trapped between 2 gates, but maybe we'll see Viper do that next time he plays. And Chart clicks up. So this will be 2 militia into follow-up 2 militia. It's a really strong build, especially when the opponent tries to go scouts. Nicov will add a spearman now. His goal is to snipe that scout. And Nicov hasn't added a range, hasn't added a stable yet. It's just late. Do you guys like playing as the Gujaras or struggle? Or like or hate or struggle or do well with? Where do you guys fall into the category? Let's not forget the category of I don't play, I just watch streams. You can also say that too. I think that might be most of my chat, but I personally struggle with them. Like, I have a rough time. Like if it gets to Castle Age and the game is even, I don't know. I fall into some problems. Now, what I do is I pull the sheep out of the mill. Nicov has done that too. So I like this. This can give you some really strong early advantages with the transitions. Ooh, Chart. Oh, he loses his scout. And he tried to run, but there was a hidden wall of wood there. And Nicov sees it now. Nikov's like, what on earth is that? And Nicov also sees the next 2 militia. Nikov's had a really nice opening here because he's killed that scout. He now knows it's 4 militia. It'll take some time for Chart to get forward. Nicov has some time to wall. He doesn't have gold, so he added 1 archer. The thing here is you can only get 1 archer without mining gold, and if you make that archer, you then can't get fletching. Nicov is also walking out here to repair this house. This dude definitely lives there. Like, why take the risk? Why do that? I mean, that's a nice guy thing to do, I guess. A Chart can't see this as walled because he lost that scout. And he doesn't want to go attack the house. So nice shot from Nicov. Again, the theme for Nicov has been walls so far. And the theme for Chart has been man-at-arm opening. The range is behind this for Chart. Remember, he has wheelbarrow. His eco's looking pretty good behind this. He doesn't need to get kills. But now he meets another wall of wood. Man, these wood lines must be so annoying. Just hopefully he doesn't go in here, thinking there's a gap on the other side. Not a GM says they just assume they're walled, so they attack a house, so why build militia at all? Well, the militia still control the game. Nicov would have gone scouts had the militia not showed up, and then scouts could be over at Chart's base. So Nicov switched his build because in response to this, most likely. And while Nicov is really good at getting the wall timing down, you can't just assume they can do that. Yeah, Chart doesn't know about the wood line, guys. Watch these units now. Yeah, they're going to go this way. He's like, what? Maybe he meant to go that way. I think he wanted to go like this way. And that's where his units were going to meet him. But he's able to back away. Has his own range units now. But in a 0 Eco KD game, I prefer the Vikings. In a ranged units war, I prefer the Vikings. And back to what I said about the Gujaras. I'm just not very impressed or in love with this Shravamsha Rider in Castle Age. If the opponent is fully walled, that is. They're a very good raiding unit. I don't find they're that good against actual armies. They're obviously going to be good against something like skirms, but when I play against Gujaras, I just play into crossbows. Crossbows and knights. Crossbows for any camels. And then I feel like crossbows are probably going to be able to handle any Shravamshas. But, you know, skirms still are an issue. And Gujaras can still do that. Nikov's gold's not looking very good long-term here. He'll have to be careful. And both players just microing right now. I think stopping production on either side would be a bit of an issue. I see someone in chat asking if you could stop production. I don't really see how, because you'll just get outproduced and you'll just get outmaneuvered. Outfought, outkilled. And it's basically a skirmisher war right now, so you can still make it to Castle Age pretty much at the same time while still producing skirms out of one range and microing and adding the farms. 3-1 KD for Nicov. Good start. He had a 13-1 KD at the start of the previous game, so Chart's improved, I guess. I don't love Nikov's eco compared to the previous game. It's definitely doesn't have the balance he would have wanted. 16 on wood is always a bad sign. But he has a lot more micro to focus on here than he did. He'll use the market. He'll sell his stone. So Nicov senses that his eco is not as balanced as it should be. And he falls over to his hill. He'll kill off the man-at-arms here. Still has his camel. And he'll chase Chart right back. Now Chart knows about the wall of wood. 13 skirms for Nicov, 10 skirms for Chart, but Chart can back up. Chart also has way too many on wood, just because the eco has fallen off. So Chart also would need to benefit from a market here, or he has to pull the villagers from the wood line and add farms. But Nicov already has the market, and Nicov has more skirms here. Nikov's taking a better fight. Nicov brings in the camel to help. And Nikov's about to be on the way to Castle Age significantly faster than Chart. And Nicov is just, again, so far ahead of him. Though in this game, he didn't kill any villagers. I think in another Civ matchup, Nicov could create some camels in Feudal here. But it doesn't really seem that beneficial against the Vikings. Yeah, Chart he'll still be able to reach Castle Age soon, but Nicov will just reach the timing a bit faster here. I think we'll see a second archer range from Nicov, because he'll want the potential to actually kill villagers, but elite skirmishers can still do that. Chart can just leave this wood line, move over to this wood line. That's no problem. Nikov's base is really bad if he ever gets hit. Like, I think there's a massive difference in bases, right? Am I wrong? 3 wood lines for Chart. Back gold, back stone. Nikov's got, feels like one wood line, but like these wood lines are all super forward. So, I mean, Nikov's made the most of it. Still playing one archer range, Nicov, just disrupting the wood line. Double checking to see what Chart's doing. And we'll see that Chart's got double range. Nicov, I think, just going to pull his skirms over in front of the ranges now. You don't want these units to run out. If they were to move forward right now, you could have some problems defending that. But Chart's on the way. About 2-minute difference here. Chart isn't going to take too much damage, though. His woodline safe, his gold safe. He needs to be walled here, though. Like, this has to be walled. If this isn't walled, he'll take damage. And, guys, I don't know if it's going to be walled. Nicov checking with that one skirm. Found the ranges and also finds the hole. And now he's on the way. Oh, God. Oh, no. The damage is going to be off the charts. This is going to be rough. Well, he's got some houses coming down, but he's had to leave his skirms exposed. He's had to fight this. And now his army just gets thrown away. He will get those houses down. It does keep Nicov out for a little bit longer. He could actually run forward now, take a risk. But yeah, we are in uncharted territory right now. Nicov with Gurjara crossbowmen attacking the walls. I think we'll just see Chart drop a market or a university here. Okay, market. I would have expected him to wait and go for the university, but I think he just needs something to block it off. Obviously looking very good for Nicov right now. He has a lot of map control, a lot of confidence, and Chart is just reacting to him. Elite Skirmisher is actually an option for Nicov because he didn't lose his skirms. And Nicov will be very happy to see that Chart's crossbows are actually in his base right now. University for Nicov. I'd love to see a siege workshop on this hill. It's super risky. Maybe even the middle hill here could be good. But Nikov's going in. He didn't know about the siege workshop till now. Nikov's about to go full micro. No armor on the skirm, so they get hit by the crossbows. They'll still die, but does Chart feel that? Does Chart know that? Nicov is just diving in, man. Nicov is ready to speedrun this series right now. Dodges from the mangonel. Gets in close to take more crossbows. Will probably back away. What? He's still running in. Back away and split, maybe? I mean, he'll lose the skirms. He did only lose 2 vills, Chart. But the efficiency has not been great. And there's Nicov actually running forward. It'll take some time, but if he has time to complete that siege workshop, that's a big deal. Nicov has ballistics. Oh my god, his micro is just too good. He takes the crossbows. He still uses the camel. He takes the vills. He'll take the mangonel. He'll take the crossbows again. Yeah, he's just too good. There's just a class difference between the two of them. Nicov is so fast. He wins fights so consistently. And both games he has defended really nice from some aggression. And then he's just played ranged units and adapted from there. Obviously, Chart calling this is pretty understandable. He'll lose these 2 crossbows. He'll lose villagers to that. There's more army here he can't deal with. But yeah, Chart needed to be walled. Chart needed to be walled. Then he could actually play his own skirms. Not being fully walled on this side was crazy. But at the same time, guys, like, how many times do we see a player just simply assume their opponent is walled and never run in? Right? The joke is, you don't have to be walled. You just have your opponent to have to assume that you're walled. And like right here, you see the full wall across the front. You see all of this. And you just think he's walled. But then he checks this. Like, look, that one skirm double checks. Okay, 2 ranges. Let's check the other side real quick. That's not walled. And then he's able to get over here and he's able to get the damage. So that's just Nicov just having that aggressive mentality, which is the difference between the two so far. So well played from Nicov. So catching up, live time, game 3. Obviously looking very good for Nicov so far. Nicov has gone for the way. Will Nicov know the way? Will he show us the way? Will he be continued to be way above Chart's level? These things we will find out here. But yeah, Chart's got his #1 pick here to try and get some momentum. And I think this is the first time that he probably won't open Man-at-Arms. I'd be curious to see how Chart plays when he doesn't open Man-at-Arms. There's certain players that just can't get value with Man-at-Arms. Certain players are really good at defending from it. I think Nikov's one of them. So this matchup, while it could still be that, unlikely to be Man-at-Arms for the Chinese. You do have 2 deer in this clump here. There should be more deer around, but he would have to find them, and he does know where they are. So it should be a fairly clean start here for Chart. I guess it is kind of like China versus China, because Wei were part of the one Chinese DLC. Some people will claim the Wei do not belong, but at least competitively, we will see that they do. They're very strong. You get the additional villagers for each eco-tech, so that can help you. That can help you surpass the Chinese vill count, which right now they're ahead in. And then also, I think really the Zhan Bei is the best thing about this civ. I think the Zhan Bei unit, their Cav Archer unit, is extremely strong. Nikov's woodlines are weird again. Like, imagine if he's up against a lot of ranged units. All of his woodlines are rangeable. It could lead to some full walls, and he has some stone and gold in the back, but it's just another awkward base layout for Nicov. And that boar is trolling him right now. That boar decided to walk that way, and hopefully he... Yeah, okay. Can bring it next to the TC. T90, do you also play in higher tier tournaments sometimes, or is it that you prefer casting the games instead? I do play. Had I signed up for this one, I'm not sure if I would have made the cut. I think I would have, and I would have been rewarded with a first round series against Viper. Or like Viper or Leary or something. So yeah, I was traveling, and I got back like right when this tournament started, and let's be honest, it wouldn't have been a huge confidence boost for me to get styled on by one of the best in the world, so I didn't really have much of an interest in giving it a shot. But I am going to sign up for other tournaments. It does fully take away from being a competitive player that I'm constantly working on the content side. The tournament that I'd really have my heart set on playing on is Titans League. I think I'd probably be a silver player at worst, maybe a gold player at best, but I'm not allowed to play in that, so that's kind of a bummer. So hopefully there'll be more events that don't lead to situations where I would immediately get clapped by a top 10 player at the start of the tournament, and then I'll definitely sign up for those tourneys. So I've had fun playing, but again, it does take away from being sharp when I'm focused on the content. But that's fine. Like, I'm not going to do fully one or the other. I was always torn on this, but it's just pretty clear. I'm going to sign up. I'm going to give it my best. I'm going to take tournaments serious as a player sometimes. And then I'm going to continue to do this too. And so, and we'll see how it goes. Nikov's woodlines are, again, awkward. His 2 woodlines feel like they're in the middle of the map right now. So he'll definitely have his work cut out for him. You can't say that Nikov's maps have necessarily been really good. Chart, better base layout, like I said. Having the wood and the berries in the back is really nice. This feels more standard. And I feel like this is going to be a scouts build for both players here. Nicov builds the barracks at the time I would expect the scouts. I think things will be delayed, though. Just those villagers walking over to this lumber camp. I don't know if you guys caught that, but this lumber camp wasn't completed yet, so they walked all the way over here. That'll slow down his wood income a little bit. Would you like to play in a sudden death tourney? I did play in sudden disaster. I trained some strats, had some cool stuff there, but Sora Kuma was too strong for me. That was fun. I enjoyed that. Looks like the stable's coming up from Chart. To be expected, Chart is ahead in resources collected just because of his civ. Let's not forget that Nicov also has the Chinese available if the series goes on. Both players saw that as the #1 civilization available, and you do get the hidden free first pick. So it's not always the same, but it can sometimes be. Houses for Chart. Chart will probably naturally want to protect that eco lead and wall this way. And then maybe slowly wall this way. And then get to gold later. But I don't think we'll be seeing gold anytime soon. And we have Nicov with an archer range. Okay, so Nikov's going to go spears and skirms. Kona in chat says, wait, there are mirrors, question mark? That ruins the tourney. Bro, calm down. That ruins the tourney. It's not even a mirror matchup. It's just they both have the possibility of playing the same civ once. Ruins the tournament. Twitch chat. Come on. Nicov knows it's a scout opening. He'll want to stop these walls. Spear skirms could be kind of awkward here for Chart. Switching into your own skirms is not something you want to do when you're really close to walling up. So, I think he's going to be greedy here. He's going to be greedy, especially when you're the underdog. You want to greed out a little bit, take some risks. Nikov's berries are walled up. Woodline's kind of walled in a bubble here. And Chart is just desperate to get these walls down. Doesn't seem like the strongest army for Nicov. This could actually be fought back with Vils. It's taken Nicov some time to get going here. His archer ranges were late. So I think that could have been improved. And here he is. It's 2 spears, 1 skirm army. It can kill villagers. It can slow Chart down. But I think Chart could actually fight this back with a couple of... I think it is worth it to fight this right now if you know that this is the only army. But he doesn't know it's the only army. He thinks there's going to be more, and he has to abandon the whole wall project. That is really good for Nicov. Yeah, I think... I mean, how many tiles is that? That's 3 tiles, and he fully abandoned it. He thought there was going to be more, and more would have been a problem. And now he has to fall back, drop his own range for a couple skirms. Scouts didn't get any damage. So, well played, Nicov. Well played. Gold is now exposed for Chart, but he doesn't necessarily need that right now. Just Nicov getting a lot of value from a very tiny army. He'll be confident. If you're in Nikov's position, you now feel like, oh yeah, I've got him exactly where I want him. And you can stop producing skirms, which he's done. He doesn't have many skirms at all. I don't even know where this second one is. It's only one here. I'm sure it's around. Oh, it's in the wood line. It's an imposter on the wood line there. And Nicov will go to gold. So that's something Chart hasn't been able to do. Chart will be able to do that now, though. Oh, and Chart kills Nikov's scout, and he can trap this army. So nice job from Chart. Again, the transitions, though, because of everything that's been happening, look at the amount he has on wood. Look at the amount of wood. This is where it's nice, though. You can just spam auto farm. Boop, 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 all around that mill here in a second. Should still be fine. Nicov will see it as a positive that Chart had to make these skirms, but it's not really a bad unit to have if you're Chinese. It's not bad to have an archer range either. When the opponent could go Jean Bays, so... The Chart's fine. Just confusing how he has so much wood banked. I would like to see like 16 farms here instead of 13. I know Chart. I've watched his games. This aspect can be a little bit faster, but I think he's really trying to do a bit more with his micro. He has to focus more on his micro because it's Nicov. And maybe just because of the pressure, too. There are the farms now. I'd like a full house wall here from Chart the whole way across. Otherwise, this is a pretty vulnerable area. And hold up. Chart sees Nicov has built a tower. He thinks Nicov is going to be in Castle Age faster than him. And he's going to go forward to tower this, I think. It feels like it. Really uncommon play with the Chinese. And Chart goes for a villager snipe. And Chart will get the villager snipe. So Chart 5-0 KD, guys. Make it 1, but 1 death is fine on just the spearman. We were applauding Nicov for his great starts with the KD. Better job for Chart. I'm confused, though, on where the tower is going to go. Okay, so he wants... He wants it there. I mean, maybe this can work. Maybe this can work. But it feels like if he just played towards Castle Age timings with a great eco civ, he'd be fine. This is... Feels like he's trying to do way too much. And now he's here. Now you might as well tower the wood line or something. He's going to tower there. I mean, long term, that can be decent. Nicov can't tower that. Nicov will have to think about what he does to handle this. It's a bit of a weird tower. But you can tower it and I guess wall part of it up. And then it does take away Nikov's wood for now. Nicov with one archer range, two archer ranges. So he'll definitely go for the Jean Bays. And he will need wood for that. The tower goes up. Chart going for the second stable. I think key for Chart is actually keeping his skirmishers alive. Losing his skirmishers is pretty easy to do if in his mind he's planning on double stable or something, right? But even just keeping them alive for later to have some elite skirm out is really good. Towers in the middle, near a bunch of gold, near the hill, near a wood line from Nicov. So this is a sneaky good tower. The chart will be through. Nicov will just wall behind. Again, Nikov's map is just really bad. Just really bad. I am concerned that in later stages and really important moments, that maps like this will happen. And oh god. I guess Nicov had a hole there, but maybe intentionally, because those scouts would have died to the spears. And Nicov is up. Like, imagine the finals, and there's this map difference. That would be really bad. Chart's committing to staying forward now. And he'll know the Jean Bays are on the way, but the He Guang are going to be on the way as well, which is great against the army that's out here. Great against those skirms. Chart needs to sense this, but he does not sense that Nicov would ever go for this. He's thinking it's fully Jean Bays, and he has just completely guessed wrong here. His skirms are going to be jumped on. His villagers are going to have to run, and Nicov can just run right out right now, consider attacking that tower. Remember those skirms dying, okay? Remember those skirms dying, because he might need them once the Jean Bays are out. Chart is going to be making a lot of knights, and as of now, Nikov's army is mainly skirmishers. So Chart, with 4 knights, could probably keep this tower up. Tower needs to stay up to have any type of value in this position, and it should. But I think Nikov's TC can shoot it down. That's a good fight for Chart. I think you just have to run with your villagers now. Once the TC is complete for Nicov, you really can't hang around here. Back away with your vills. Build a siege workshop and a monastery on the hill, maybe. And turn this into a siege monk push. That's crazy. I would prefer you hide it a little bit from Nicov, but he's just showing him. He doesn't care at this point. The siege workshop and monastery. Has stone at home if he wants to boom. I don't think his eco is really set up for a boom, though. This is going to be full on 1 TC. Nicov has the villager lead. We know Nicov has incredible micro. But that TC is a target against rocket carts. And that is quite a few knights here from Chart. You can leave 1 vill here for the repairs. Those rest of those vills can go home. I actually wouldn't mind them going to stone. Just play 1 town center, siege monk, castle drop on this hill. Would be crazy strong, right? Nicov will consider a counterattack, but this is completely house walled. So if he wants to go to that wall, and I think he does, that will be an issue. Yesterday, Nicov was watching as Stone Please had a skirmisher in the group of Cav. I think it was Bruh in chat, who's a high-level player who was judging. That skirm is making this entire army slow, guys. I think Nicov also maybe laughed at that. So now he's making the same mistake. There is 1 vulnerability, 1 palisade wall. That has to be a house right now, Chart. And he's going to build a gate, and no! No, dude, it's just the tiny details that matter, man. He had the right idea. The house wall's there, but the whole thing has to be house walled. Nikov's now in. The Chart was fully focused on the front, so he has no army at home, and oh my god. And once again, the damage is off the charts. Nicov will just run through. He knows where the army is. In this moment, he's trying to use his cav to snipe the push. Chart has defended that, but he's got to bring all of his knights home. It's just so good from Nicov to find the counterattack. So many people just get frozen when they get pushed like this, and they don't ever find the counter, and Nicov is feasting right now. He's feasting. 14 villager kills, 15 villager kills, 16. Make it 17. My God. Well, Chart now needs to kill fast. And he does have the position for it, to pressure the TC. But it can be extremely frustrating, right? I think when you're watching this as a viewer, because you're like, come on, man, just that tiny detail. But it's just how punishing the game is. One tiny little mistake, and the best players are going to find it, and they're gonna ruin you. Nicov goes in. Please get the conversion Chart. Okay, at least he gets the conversion. But Nicov will go to snipe the siege. He does end up sniping one of the rocket carts. He won't get the second. There is no repair villager around for Chart. Normally, you still need one of them to be around. And Nicov is building up a lot of Janbays. Nikov's eco is far from the cleanest eco I've seen. But 66 villagers is always going to be ahead of 39. And the full armor isn't in on these knights yet either, so Nicov will run in. I'd like to see Nicov get some armor here for his cav. But yeah, he snipes that. Again, no repairville is kind of an issue. But yeah, Nikov's still concerned. He's going to drop a tower. But this is the tower you drop when you know you have a massive eco lead. When the game's even, you don't want to drop that tower because you want a castle or something. The second this push doesn't have any power for Chart, Nikov's just going to head to his base again. Like, Nikov's just going to counterattack again. This is an area that's vulnerable. Chart's dropping houses now because he doesn't see the army. Nicov shouldn't take too much damage to this cav as the cav tries to loop around. Feel bad for Chart. I feel bad for players who maybe don't get seen as much as others. And then a player like Nicov just gets the better of them. And then people are sitting out there thinking that Chart is like, is nothing special, you know? Reinforces my thinking why after a week-long trip with family, I didn't want to play against Viper in the first round. I'd be the one you guys would be feeling bad for. Only I think you guys would probably weirdly enjoy me receiving that beatdown because you know me, which would make it worse. Yeah, he'll try to just go for the castle to shut down this push in the middle, and he'll get that. Chart's raiding underneath the TC. He needs some damage. Nicov gets a conversion, but he needs house walls everywhere. Monks are still around for conversions. Nicov will still get some conversions. And then the castle will go up. And I think with Nikov's house walls, he hasn't taken many losses. He still only lost 4 villagers. And he can bring his Jan base home to clear this up. Still a 20 villager lead. The push is dead for Chart. Nice job from Chart to try something different, but the only thing is Nikov's ecos. This is like 2015 Nicov right now. That's also because it's like a 2015 map right now. His eco has seen better days. This is crazy. I just don't think you can counter this unit in Castle Age when there's this many of them. And I think it is far too cheap, far too easy to mass this on the back of the Wei economy. It is a really strong unit. I thought it was nerfed in the most recent patch. It might be in the future. I don't know. But it's a really good Cav Archer unit. But again, it's also combined with a really good economy. So you can't just look at a unit for its stats. You also need to consider how easy it is to make them. I wouldn't necessarily say it's much stronger than a Cav Archer, but to me, I'd prefer to go Janbei Riders and CA in Castle Age. In Imp, it's a little bit different. The Cav Archers are definitely a tankier unit overall. But yeah, Chart has got his eco rolling. He's going to be on 4 TCs now. But now he's about to get castle dropped. So Nicov will drop a castle on his face. With that castle, Nicov denies the stone, can take the gold. Nicov still does not have a lot on food. I think it could be he just has to garrison his farmers here. The Chart will not be able to deny this castle, but he'll kill some vills. Chart 1 minute of TC idle time is an impressive stat here. And he kills a couple villagers, but can he actually kill the Janbais? I think Chart's win condition would be Imp, Defensive Castle, Imperial Age, and Trebs. It feels like he's a really long way from that possibility. And these units are going to be into his base soon. So he'll catch up with the vills. Consistently still trying to raid. But Nikov's going to be into his base. And he's going double Siege Workshop to defend from this. The Chart's actually even with Nikov's Vill count now. Wow. Yeah, so the way I would define Chart and some other players of his caliber is if you don't do damage to them, they just fly ahead of you in eco, and then they beat you in late game. But what has Nicov done in every game? He's applied some really good damage because he's winning every fight. So this is now an example of what Chart's able to do if he has a little bit of time with his economy, but it feels like maybe it's a little too late. And more knights will come in. Nikov's always ready. He's always got some units here, some monks. Of course, the town centers are there too. And the plan for Chart was Scorpion defense, and now there's some siege from Nicov. He's going to farm on the front now. That's like his safest farming eco, which is kind of funny. Conversion for Nicov should come in. Might be multiple. Chart's distracted right now, so he's underneath the town center. Losing knights to the monks, losing knights to the Janbais. He's looking here. Nicov is brutalizing the woodline and the stone. And Chart's eco is going to die. Sorry, Chart's knights is going to die. And Chart's eco could also die. So it could be both. Oh, Siege Workshop going down would be really nice for Nicov. It's at 60 HP, so one more shot and it will go down. Nikov's farming eco is looking pretty good. He's not spending any food on military units, so Imp could definitely come in. Scorpions are very strong against the Janbais. But Mangonel's strong against Scorpions, so Mangonel's still pretty good addition here for Nicov. What's up, Ender? Thank you. I require a hug. Thank you for the 16. Big Rob, welcome back, man. Dragonov, Forest Dump, Boots June, Boots Jung. Thank you, guys. We have 3 sets today. Next series is Hera against Lewis. Should be a fun one. It feels right now, I could be wrong, but it feels right now, even with Chart on the way to Imp, that series will be rather soon. Because Chart is just struggling to get any army. And, oh god, the Scorpions. Alright, he only loses 2 Scorpions. But he could still lose them all. And Imp with what army? It's going to be Imp for Trebs, I guess, right? Nicov has 6 Mangonels with 3 more in queue. Nicov has gone crazy with the military this game. Also, he's getting stone shaft mining with nothing on stone, just for the extra vill. Is that worth it? I mean, maybe he'll still take stone. But he's going crazy. He's really taking advantage of the way eco bonuses here. Maybe get a handcart too. I mean, Chart will probably treb this castle down. But he has to defend with 7 army against 60 right now. And it's Nicov. So, good luck. Luckily for Chart, this wasn't the Imp TC, because I don't think this TC will be around. This TC is just the handcart TC. Chart can't get even close to Nicov without Nicov seeing him with the outpost. And Nicov gets the kill, and Chart loses the TC. And there's a hill here, so Chart will lose this TC too. Nicov also's idling with skirms here, and GG's called. Yeah, Chart knows he's screwed. He just got completely outclassed here today. I think Nikov's style is just too good. Nicov has such a good mix of aggression and defense Again, Nikov's map is absolutely horrible. Like, look at his map right now. He's completely out of wood in his base, it feels like, and he's mining, taking trees in the middle. Yeah, Nicov had a good game plan for him. Went for the more economic side. And, yeah, just every game seemed to do a really good job. I think this is a game that Chart lacked confidence in. I think if this exact situation is here in game number 1, I think Chart never goes for that tower. He never goes for the forward at all. Not saying it's necessarily a horrible play, but that's a sign to me that he felt like he needed to do something more. And a pretty good Civ matchup for his Civ. Chart never goes forward. Chart likes to stay at home and play behind the walls, and he got those walls with a villager kill as well. So the forward was just clearly an underdog trying to make something happen, which we have to respect. But Chart's road will end. He did get the upset. He won 3-2 over Mihai in the first round. So that already nets him. I think if you win the first round, you get $500 or something like that. Nicov will move on, kind of expected after the sweep. Well played from Nicov. I don't think we've seen Nikov's best play yet either.